What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Dude, let's chat here again for another Bleach episode in the Thousand Year Blood War Core 2. I am joined, of course, by Isaac and from Work in Progress, Casey. Sadly, Brent couldn't be here right now, but he may come later, or maybe we'll do a solo thing with it. Guys, how are y'all doing this evening?
Not too bad, not too bad. How about you guys?
Oh,
I'm
n-
I'm doing great. I'm doing phenomenal. That episode was legit.
I mean, right out the gate. So we actually did talk a little bit beforehand, guys, what they do behind the curtain, and we did all kind of agree. It was a really good episode. So let's just kick right into it. And we're going to start, of course, with our special guest, Casey. What made it so great? What did you like about this episode?
Oh, I mean, literally everything about the episode. I do love the ideals kind of going back and forth between Rukia and F. I can't remember his name right now,
As not.
but I do know that. What was that?
As not.
As not. Okay. So
That's not what.
as not in fear.
Oh, okay.
Um, I did love that whole going back and forth. And then, Byakuya, everybody loves Byakuya and just how he pertains himself. And I do kind of love the change he has from his previous iterations within the series. It is a
Mhm.
very well thought out, but kind of plainly obvious. And he recognizes that it was not obvious at the very beginning, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, Byakuya has had, if we may, Byakuya has had some of the most character development within the series itself, being literally the pillar of justice and order within the Soul Society, or what he was trying to be at the beginning. And as he's changed throughout the series, including, of course, his fight with Zomari back when they were going into Hueco Mundo, and he literally lets him know it's not about. He when he fought him at the end, he was like, "Why are you killing me all because of your soul reapers? You didn't do right or wrong." It's like, I'm not killing you because I'm a soul reaper or a captain. I'm not doing this for some weird war. I'm doing this because you pointed your sword at my pride. When he accepted the fact that no, he loves his sister, and he's going to protect what
Mm.
he agrees with. And so, of course, seeing him come back out like this, I mean, I think it's been here since the Thousand Year Blood War, but I definitely love to see it.
Hmm.
So
Oh, and just
Yeah.
that whole moment of like, Bankai, what are you talking about? And just shows that he's still holding the hilt of his sword
hmm
and just kind of pointing out, this is my Shikai. What the hell are you talking about?
The audacity, am I right?
so
Exactly.
Like it's like actually I can't say that it's a sexual joke. But just know it's a whole meme with so where he says, "This isn't even my final form."
it's so true though.
Pretty much.
It was it gosh, I could go on all day, but so you really, of course, love the interactions, of course, Rukia and Byakuya. I always love seeing them both on the screen. It sounds like you do too. Isaac, are you of the same cloth there? Do you agree? Or is there something more that you liked?
Well, there was more that I liked, but
That's
that yeah, I mean, um, uh, what was the name?
as not.
As not
Sternritter F
as
for
not
fear. Yes.
okay as not right. So as not, what I liked about him is basically how he looked so simple but yet psychotic. To where looking like this whole abomination of a thing, which suits him perfectly, right? Because Rukia thinks I outsmarted you because I could freeze your fear venom, and he's like, "Oh, bet." This is
Bet.
let me attack your optical nerves now. Let's see how that works for you. And then like literally just instantly owns her. And because like Rukia throughout the anime, if people watching this haven't really watched the prequel episodes, seasons, whatever, you'll know every now and again. And when I say every now and again, I say quite often, someone's always getting kidnapped. And Rukia was the first one. And that was mainly like, and Rukia's kidnapping lasted what? Just 2 seasons?
I mean, yeah, it definitely was its own. It was the what was it, the reentry, invasion arc
Yeah.
Yeah.
for at least 30
So
episodes.
yeah, right. So so you kind of get this idea like, oh, she's a damsel in distress. Of course, you get backgrounds between her and her brother, which I compare it to, or it's similar to how Nenji and Hinata were, right? Like they kind of had that kind of, you know, I
Yeah.
don't want to get too much into that, but um there were moments where Rukia showed her like her abilities, and I feel like she showed it more so in Wako Mundo, where she had like kind of her hype moments, but nothing that really stood out, right? So seeing
Mhm.
her like do her thing and whatnot, showing that like I am dead, like she's able to control her Zanpakuto and do this and that. Basically, her and Hitsugaya should have a baby because that baby would be OP as hell. Um, Granted, it doesn't work that way, but imagine if it did. Uh, um,
Oh, I don't know if I want to imagine that.
I'm just saying, like his ice ability and her like being able to lower her body temperature and whatnot, and basically create ice.
Mhm.
But that whole thing where like she feels like she has the upper hand, but per usual, she gets caught up. Except instead of it being Ichigo coming in to save the day, it's Byakuya. And he does it with the flick of a wrist. And then the most gangster stuff about it was like, I'm not even gonna kill you. Like, you're not mine to kill. And just like literally just walks off and lets Rukia give it the final blow. And I want to add one more thing. That character made me want to watch or play Silent Hill.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
dude.
actually good.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, he gets me going. I love
Silent
Asimov.
Hill vibes.
I do actually kind of agree with you on that. Like the whole aspect is he actually doesn't really come in to save her. She actually was doing a pretty damn good job. She was just looking at it in a different light.
Yeah.
And then him literally just speaking, you know, basically praising her that she actually is doing good completely alters her way of looking at things and just decimates him. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yes, he does save her, but at the same time, he doesn't just come in to save her. And it's a very interesting way to look at it.
Yeah. He gives her like that extra push that she needed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It is definitely yeah, the whole
Oh,
episode was a really good one.
yeah.
And I agree with you because let's be fair, this isn't the first time that Byakuya would have had to come in to save her, and we're not even talking non-canonically, Canonically,
Hmm.
she of course, back again, we're going back to the Arrancar arc where she really did a number on her first opponent, which I'm losing his name, but the one who had the essence of the old Shiba lieutenant, Um, and she was able to beat him just to have to fight Samari, but she was already worn down, just for Byakuya to have to come and save the day, which was fantastic, And so this felt like that same vibe, like you said, so it's like, no, this ain't my fight. This ain't my win, I'm just here to support
Hmm.
the family. The fam ILY. We're back to that. Fam illy,
It's a
Uh
family picture.
Exactly. So it was fantastic. Very beautiful too, guys. I oh gosh, I loved whenever Byakuya was showcased, like you had brought up Isaac when he said, this is just a Shikai, you know. But it was so beautiful, so well done, so it looks so good. This arc just is so beautiful. I can't
I
get
Hmm.
mean,
over it.
and Rukia's like final form looked kind of sick too,
Sick
though.
too. Oh my gosh. The manga did
Correct
not.
me if
Oh,
I'm
this did so
wrong
much.
on this. Sorry to
No,
interrupt.
no,
Correct me
no.
if
Go
I'm
ahead.
wrong on this. In the manga, her Bankai did have a name, but it was shortened to Snow White, if I believe correctly. Am I wrong on that?
No, I believe you're absolutely correct. And
Okay, because she
it's
doesn't say Snow White in the episode. She just calls
no,
it by name.
I believe so.
I,
I'll definitely check that out.
I will say one more thing, and I could have missed it. I could have like not paid attention. I was kind of confused. Like when I started the episode, I thought I had missed an episode because I'm like, okay, Ichigo's gonna go see the Soul King, right? Then
Mhm.
literally the episode is him just walking like, okay, I'm done with my training, and he's all dressed up like, wait, what? What?
Mhm.
Okay,
Like,
so that's fair, but the reason why is because that's filler, you know? I don't remember him walking up to everybody saying that done with my training and stuff like that. It may have happened, but I guess it's because I'm in that focus of it's been filler up to this point for Ichigo. The whole time that we've seen him walking through those gates and doing all of his stuff, that was not a part of the manga at all. All we knew once he got out of the Zanpakuto reforging was that he was doing training, you know?
Mhm.
mm,
Actually, Brent did also have to remind me today as we were watching the episode that because I didn't even remember in the manga, Ichigo calling Urahara to tell him that he was on his way.
Yeah.
And Brent actually did pull up the books, and he's like, "No, he actually did do that." So I was completely confused on what was going on. He did point out that that actually happened later on in the story, though.
hmm They're definitely moving things around as well, and they're just kind of getting everything focused out while keeping that hype. I think Brent was onto something the last time we were talking about, the fact that there's not a lot of Ichigo. In fact, it feels like it's not
Hmm.
about him at all. And it did feel that
Right.
way in the manga because we focused a lot on a lot of fights with zero to no Ichigo coverage until he just randomly showed up. Felt more like a plot device than anything else, despite being the main character. And I feel like they're trying to avoid that by keeping him in this the whole time. Because I believe that was a feeling back in the day, although it's been so long, you know? But it's definitely good. I just loved it, guys. Like I loved it. Well,
yeah, no, it was great. Yeah,
It,
it
it was
was a
definitely a
good.
good one.
Yeah,
so
I enjoyed it.
we're definitely looking forward to the next one. So
So,
stay tuned, of course. I mean ultimately that was this episode. Any final thoughts?
I will state one thing that Brent and I were actually discussing today, and especially with this episode, we're wondering where the season is going to end and where the next one's going to pick up.
Oh,
Fair
there we
enough.
go. There we go. We can have a
So
discussion
it's
about that.
very interesting to think about it.
I mean, we're pretty much at that halfway mark, you know. This wouldn't be a
Hmm.
bad time to jump in there for some of the manga readers and just kind of throw that in. We might pop that off as a podcast discussion. But either way, we'll get to that. Isaac, any final thoughts, final words?
No, I mean it's a great episode. Also, if you guys enjoy this content, make sure to like, subscribe,
Hmm?
do let's chat. We've been slacking on our podcast for the most part, but Juice and I were talking. We'll try to get that right.
We'll get you. We'll
But
get
until
you.
then,
I tell you,
till
this is
then,
the first step. You don't see our beautiful faces because we're all a little tired and haggard. But you know what? This is just going to set up for a better podcast. Going to try to get that going again so you have something to listen
yep.
to at your leisure. Casey, thank you for being here. That's Work in Progress SLO here on YouTube. We're going to have their links in the description. As always, thank you for being here. Brent, we miss you. I'm doing hearts with my hands right now. Till next week, everyone, stay happy, stay healthy, stay beautiful. What's up, everyone? Dude, let's chat back from the break because you know what? We had Casey and that was a nice time, but Brent watched it and he seemed to like it from what Casey had mentioned. And of course, mentioned that, the call to Urahara did happen between him and Ichigo. It just was kind of moved around. I did want to get his opinion on it. Brent, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing well. Yeah. This episode was definitely filled with some
Mm.
shifting around. I mean, if things had been correct within the manga, we would have had Ichigo taking the plunge about maybe 2 episodes prior. Um, and of course, subsequently with the call to Urahara. Um, but yeah, I really like this episode. Casey and I had a brief conversation before I had to deal with some stuff last night. And basically, like, it is to no secret that I have a complicated, um, not maybe not complicated, but just an indifference towards Bleach. And I need to think about anyways,
Oh, it's
but
definitely, especially the comparison that we've talked about between the pacing of the Arrancar arc, which did feel like it was
yeah.
elongated, and then, of course, where we are now with the second part
Mhm.
to the invasion and how they're kind of stretching out certain things. It feels, you know.
Well, I gotta say though that honestly, I do think that this core is moving at a good pace. They're
Mhm.
covering of roughly 5 chapters in an episode, which is impressive. But and they're still getting all of the correct points across, which I think is good. If you can cover so much ground while still making it look good, that is really impressive. And the despite my indifference to Bleach, there is no denying that the Thousand Year Blood War arc, just in general between the two cores, has looked really good.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
I mean, animation has come a long way in just 10 years, and this episode was really good. This episode was really good. I was a little bit, I was just like going into it. I was like, do I really want to watch this? It's like, but damn, damn, like, um, I'm sure that in a few weeks when Michelle Ruff gets to dub Rukia, she's been waiting 20 years to probably say Bankai. I
I
mean, like like that was so cool. And then of course, I have seen Byakuya have that moment with Rukia, and where he like truly acknowledges her greatness. But to see that moment where he's just like, it's a beautiful bunkai, it's a powerful bunkai, you're powerful, like it was so magical. And then of course, like, the end theme started playing, like the credits started rolling as Byakuya was like, you got this, girl. And he just
Mhm.
walks away and she's like, Bunkai, and just no. And like, of course, with the music playing over, I was like, oh my God, this is so epic. Um, and then of course, like, as note is incredibly terrifying. uh in the manga, his dialogue boxes are all like the squiggly lines, meaning that like the way he's talking is like really somewhat creepy and distorted.
Yeah.
And I've always thought that, like, that it's been captured really well. And I also really love it when the anime makes a rather, like, as notes abilities, like in the manga, looked rather unimpressive in my opinion. uh but damn, when it came up and actually like went down, I was like, holy crap.
Mhm.
So no, this was a great episode. This was a great episode. So far, like, um I felt like Rukia's, I mean, maybe it's because we've seen a form of Renji's Bankai before, that his true Bankai was just like, okay, well, that's his true Bankai. But like being able to really finally see Rukia's Bankai, she hasn't even been able to do Shikai up until this point, right?
She actually did do Shikai, which is actually part of the quiz, guys. I hope you were able to catch it. But she did do her first Shikai, um, episode 117, I believe
Okay.
is the episode. It is whenever the Arrancar, led by Grimchow, invade the
I
human
guess
world.
I guess I don't ever remember her. I guess I don't remember her like doing the whole body temperature thing.
Okay, so
Um,
that definitely came out later, but was fleshed out in a non-canon release in the Zanpakuto. I call it the Zanpakuto
uh,
Rebellion arc, but I think it's the Lost Zanpakuto Spirit
okay,
Center.
got it.
But
that's her Shikai, right?
so her Shikai, it does drop temperature, but it's not of her body. Her Bankai is a manifestation of her Bankai into herself. So it actually would be similar to Zangetsu, and I guess the
Okay.
last form of Renji's Bankai, or
Mm-hmm.
I guess the ultimate form. So her Bankai becomes a self empowerment, or rather a spirit kind of meld. But her
Mm-hmm.
Shikai is a pure white blade with this beautiful white ribbon. So they know Shiroyuki, which is just this amazing thing. Hidomai, she touches the ground in, I think it's 5 spots, and then she can cut through with Hakuren, and she
Mm-hmm.
can cut through the person and cause a lot of ice. And pretty much if she touches you, she will lower your body down to below
Mm-hmm.
freezing. The coolest thing about her Shikai, when it was showcased in that episode and in the manga, of course, was that she doesn't have to be near you to catch you. She has this ability to just freeze a particular just space. It's a pillar that seems to shoot up to the heavens. But if you get caught in it, you're done. It'll just break apart
Mm-hmm.
because it's too cold to sustain. And it is so cool, honestly.
Yeah, it was like um seeing like Asno just freaking out that he was scared and that he didn't want to die.
Yeah.
Like that was so like it was good. Like um they captured that moment really, really well. And it, I had to watch it twice. I watched it twice. Like I remember watching it and I was like, Casey, we got to watch that again.
That's fair.
And so
No, it was
I
good.
rewound it. And I was like, this is so epic. And I definitely am gonna go back and rewatch it. I haven't watched any of the Thousand Year Blood War dubbed yet, and I, I got to go back and just watch. I got to go back and watch it dubbed.
It
So
is, yeah, I
it's
had to stop on the dub, but that's its own conversation, of course. Uh, it is good. Obviously, Johnny M. Bosch sounds a little different, but he's also older, you know? He's more
mhm,
than a decade older, so obviously his voice has changed, but we already saw that in Trigun Stampede. Just
mhm,
some of his vocal ranges have changed from the original Trigun release. But I really
mhm,
didn't like what they did with Kimbachi and his voice actor and that whole thing. And I get that we don't know everything, but he was an iconic voice. It would have been like switching out Jiraiya's voice, because he was Jiraiya's voice, who was an iconic person in
right,
Naruto. And so, but other
mhm,
than that, I do want to hear, because I did get to the point where I was hearing like Rukia, Byakuya sounded awesome, and all the other captains. I just I
they're
want to keep
probably all just
going.
happy. Not to drag it on, but they're
No,
probably all just happy to be back.
it's true,
Um, and to wrap it up. But no, it was yeah, no, that was a good episode. Probably my favorite episode of the season so far.
bro. And I was telling Casey, since you haven't heard the original and you will hear it when it releases on Tuesday, but I think that you, myself, and Casey need to come together to discuss where this is going to end.
I agree.
I think it's going to be a good talk. I think it'd be awesome. So I hope to have you on for that. Well, obviously I'm going
Oh,
to
for
try to.
sure.
We just got to keep Isaac away, until he reads,
Mhm.
until he educates himself. He can't be a part of that. Sorry, buddy. But either way, I think that what more is there to be said? Well, you know what? I don't want to extend it on unless I want to make this its own thing, maybe. But I will say this, I didn't get to say it yesterday. I think it's a breath of fresh air that's not always someone saving Rukia, that finally she's standing on her own feet, because
Mhm.
she really deserved that. She was
No,
not
yeah,
a
like
bad Soul Reaper.
I like that moment. Like, I mean, I didn't cry during watching that moment, but I definitely was moved
Hmm.
by that moment because you know, as a reader of the manga, my favorite arc was the Rescue Rukia arc. Uh, I don't think that's what it's called, but um, those 150 chapters or so where they're invading the Soul Society for the first time was some of my some damn good reading, and and in those first 150 chapters of this almost 700 chapter manga, it's established that Rukia and Byakuya don't have a good relationship. And if there is a relationship that is fleshed out the best in all of Bleach, it would probably be theirs.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
you know, and once again, we're kind of going on, but I've talked with Casey here and there about how I feel like Bleach didn't flesh out some really important characters, and maybe they didn't flesh out Rukia and Byakuya the way that I wanted them to be fleshed out separately, but but together as sort of this sibling situation that was really good.
I agree, and I definitely want to go into that more. I think we'll end it here. It's been a good talk, and I think it's a great episode. Obviously, you do as well. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking your time
Mhm.
out to do this. I know that we kind of I could talk about Bleach all day, guys. So I apologize, but Brent, thank you for coming on. Obviously, you can find him at
Yeah.
Work in Progress SLO on YouTube. We're going to put his link in the description. Please give him a like and a follow. He makes some pretty amazing videos. And as always, stay happy, stay healthy, stay beautiful.